Hey everybody, it's your old pal Tristan here, and today I want to talk about Shudder, the streaming service for horror fans. So if you've visited my channel before, you know that I am a huge genre junkie. Horror, science fiction, thrillers, cult movies, you name it, I love it. This is the kind of shit I grew up on. I am a child of the video store. To me, growing up in the 90s, movies were experienced either through going out to the theater, scanning through the TV listings, or going to video stores like Blockbuster or little mom and pop places, going out on a Friday night, bringing home a video and watching it together as a family. I am not a huge fan of the way the world is going. I do think streaming is a good thing. It's definitely much more environmentally conscious to not have all these plastic DVD cases taking up space in landfills. It's also far more convenient to be like, oh, I want to watch this, look it up, instantly it's on your TV or other device. What I think gets lost is a little bit of that experience and the discovery. That's one of the reasons, like, I have Netflix, but one of the things I hate about it is that it's like, it's either their own original content being boom, 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 or it's movies and TV shows that came out in the last couple of years. It's all like, what's hot, what's now, what will grab your attention. If you're looking to explore or discover things, there's no real opportunities. And I don't think that's necessarily because there's no market for older stuff or for more niche things. It's just, that's not what their business model is about. So I recently, cut out cable. So I've been filling the void with a lot of streaming services. I also have Amazon Prime. Back in August, September, late August, early September, I subscribed to Shudder. I'd heard about it quite a bit, and honestly, I am very impressed. They have all the kind of things I love. So yeah, if you like this stuff, chances are Shudder is for you. I've seen a lot of comments, though, through social media lately, where people are talking about, like, oh, the library sucks, or oh, it doesn't have, like, this movie or that movie. I see a lot of people requesting, like, the big heavy hitter 80s franchises, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play. They want all these big movies on there. But to me, like, again, for me, physical media comes first. I'm nostalgic. I like the idea of owning a movie, being able to watch it whenever I want and not worry about it being taken off a streaming service. So the heavy hitters, those are the first things I get. I mean, you can still go to Walmart and buy Nightmare on Elm Street, even though that's a franchise from the 80s. It's still fairly relevant and in your face. So all the big franchises, like, I already own, and I would assume most horror fans or junkies already own themselves. What I like about Shudder is that it is such a sort of grab bag of quality content, going all, like, spanning the entire history of the genre. They have things like James Whale's The Old Dark House, they have Hammer films, and they have a lot of 70s and 80s stuff. They also have original content too, but like, I'm recording this in early January. They recently just added The Changeling on there, which is a film I've always heard about. It's always on those top 10 lists of the scariest movies of all time, but I've never, like, trying to gauge it. It's not necessary. I don't know if it's something I'd necessarily enjoy. At least to spend $30 on a Blu-ray and then have it in my collection. I'm not sure if it's something I would revisit, but I want to see it just because of the historical significance and the quality of the little clips I have seen from it. So now I have the convenience of being able to watch that movie on Shudder. And there are some big name slasher titles. Like, there's in the States, I know they have Hellraiser. I saw Freddy vs. Jason on there a little while ago. So there is stuff, but I like that it's kind of opening my mind to other stuff. I've been watching a lot of Dario Argento movies, sort of exploring Italian horror and giallos. And I guess that's where I'm coming around to on this, is Shudder is far better curated and organized if you want to discover new content than something like, say, Netflix or Amazon Prime. And that's what I really feel is being lost, is people are just being fed nowadays the stuff that, like, what's new, what's relevant, what came out last week, here it is in your face. whereas Shudder makes it easier to discover and find new things. And for me, I'm at this point in my exploration of the genre where I want something a little off the beaten path. The more mainstream stuff or the more readily available stuff, I'm going to buy it when it comes out because I'm a collector. That's how I function. But to discover new things or to explore new areas that I'm not sure about, like, it offers such a range of titles and such convenience. Like, the big question is Shudder worth it? And I would definitely say it is. If you're not sure, maybe wait a little while because it's still a younger streaming service, so they are building up their catalog. But each month, you'll see all sorts of new titles. So it's constantly growing. But one of the other big things I love about it is the Joe Bob marathons. Joe Bob Briggs, for those, if you're into these type of things, you probably know. But Joe Bob is a film critic going way, way back, I think even into the 70s. And he used to host TV shows back in the 80s and 90s, most famously TNT's Monster Vision, where he would, introduce and comment on movies as you watch them on TV. This is an experience which, just kind of like exploring the video store, it's been lost for modern generations, because as we move away from broadcast television into this age of streaming, the communal experience of, hey, here, let's watch a movie together, it's being lost. And I think that's brilliant what they did. That was actually kind of the big deciding factor for me to get Shudder, was the Joe Bob marathons, because it's just like it was in the old days. Like, they schedule an event, you have to be there on this day at this time, and they live stream the marathon, where it opens with an introduction, Joe Bob comes out and talks about the movie plays for about 15-20 minutes, and then Joe Bob comes back, makes some more jokes and commentary, gives you some facts, the movie resumes, and it goes like this. And the movies with the Joe Bob introductions and commentaries are available to stream whenever you want at your convenience, but they usually wait until 24 hours after the marathon to put them up for viewing like that. So it encourages you to be there on the day, on the time, to watch it, just like it would have been in the old days. Saturday night, 8 o'clock, let's watch a movie on TV together. And honestly, I think that is worth the price of admission. Shudder is a relatively cheap streaming service. You're talking under $10. So, and I always relate it to the experience of going out to a movie. If I'm going to spend X amount of money on a movie ticket and get however many hours of entertainment. So to me, Shudder is definitely worth it. For under $10, you get all this content. Like, even if I was just watching the Joe Bob marathons and his movie commentaries, it would be a win-win for me. One of the only drawbacks to Shudder, and they seem to be addressing it, is copyright and licenses in different regions. I know they are available in the United States, Canada, and the UK. I live in Canada, and that's one of the things you see on the comments for the Joe Bob marathons, is sometimes certain movies are not available in other regions, whether it's Canada or the UK, and it's just people bitching about it. I've always understood that, but it's unfortunate, but I've always got that, the licensing issue. It's even the same on Netflix. Netflix has different content in different countries based purely on licensing. It's not just a market thing. And they seem to be addressing it because the last two Joe Bob marathons, greater percentage of movies made it outside of the United States than in the first marathon that they did back in the summer. So I think they are looking to remedy that issue, include the Christmas marathon, the Phantasm thing they did. They had all the movies that were in the United States in all countries, and because they advertised it as such, I think they've heard the comments and the pleas from the fans, and they are fixing that problem. They also have a service called Shudder TV, which is basically a live stream that goes 24/7. And I believe, because I don't use it too much, but there's alternate channels where you can pick, what is your mood? Is it psychological horror? Is it gore? That sort of thing. But it's like a 24-hour live stream of their content just in sequence. So again, it's that sort of discovery, that box of chocolates where you don't know what you're going to get. You click on the live stream, and suddenly it's like you're watching television and you just stumbled across something. I feel like they are bringing that experience that we as fans of the genre and our early discovery of these movies, they're finding a way to bring it into the modern age. And I can only hope that it's not just the old fogies that are getting into it, that maybe younger people are also discovering this streaming service. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're doing the Lord's work. Or Satan's work. I don't know. Either way, this is, I guess you could call this my recommendation, my review, whatever. Shudder is really cool. It deserves to thrive. I've seen streaming services fizzle out and die. Most recently, the TCM one. God bless its soul. But I really hope that Shudder makes it. I hope that this is something that can continue for years to come. And like, obviously, because it's a subgenre, it's very focused. It's not going to have the same popularity as something like Netflix, but I hope that it endures. And I am very impressed with it all the way around. As long as they keep doing what they're doing and building their library, and as long as they keep Joe Bob on there, they will have me as a customer. So, 4 stars. Check it out. Also, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Also, feel free to check out some of the other stuff. I got some cool movie reviews in here.